I think what's great is this house was built almost like a fitted suit for a specific couple who were big art collectors who had had a classic house with, traditional rooms, a tennis court, things on the same piece of land. And I think that when they built this house, they were sort of at a point in their life where they understood what kind of real luxury and what it meant to live in a house that was purposeful and had nothing superfluous or extra or unnecessary, but was really about a beautiful series of rooms that opened onto gardens in kind of every direction. And I think what's been amazing about that is, having built houses for ourselves or for building houses for so many people that I've done, the idea of a house that was really about something that was sort of a pure sense of luxury and quality, nothing too much, nothing too unusable, that was really about California and both impressive and cozy, both wonderful with a few people but great for huge groups. All that really is suitable for kind of what we're doing now and where I am in my life. And I think that's been really great. It's sort of like the house was like a suit you find that fits you great off the rack, but with alteration and adjustment, it's sort of perfect for you. And I think that's something that was maybe not even really known to us when we bought it, but having lived here, we really realized that even though it was built for someone else, it really suits this phase in our life as well. If a drink is luxurious, does it taste wonderful? Does it have an incredible fragrance to it? Is a room luxurious? Does it have beautiful light? Does it work for having conversations with people you care about? Is a place luxurious? Is it thoughtful in the sense of it has a sense of history? It's a place that reveals itself to you over time. You can spend 2 days in virtually the same area and always find something interesting and compelling. I think luxury by itself is not 100% interesting to me unless there's a component of curiosity and evolution. There's a very famous kind of Helen Mirren thing in Gosford Park, being the perfect servant, right? I know when they're hungry, I know when they're cold, I know when I think to be a good host, you have to have an element of that. You have to be anticipatory about what people want, that people don't want steak and Barolo red wine on a night that's 92 degrees, that they don't want heavy blankets in the summer, that they don't want iced tea on a freezing cold day. You're just being aware of like, maybe I should turn the heat on in this room. Don't these flowers smell wonderful? Do you want Epsom salts next to the bath in a nice container? So if somebody takes a bath after taking a run, that is extra, that's more than just a regular bath. I think all of those things make a really good host. Comfort for me is two things interconnected. One is comfort in terms of what it feels like. Can I sit on it in a way that I'm relaxed? Does it have a sensory quality, sort of touch and color that I respond to? But also comfort, I think, is technical. Is the sofa close enough that I can talk to someone else? Is it comfortable in terms of how it works? Is a room too echoey? Is a room too bright? Is a room too loud? Or is it too cold? I think it's about comfort is trying to be conscious of the three-dimensional in space and all the different senses that you have and how they relate to each other. Comfort is not just for me about, a fuzzy blanket. I think there's more to it. And I think part of what the design sort of, kind of practice that I'm interested in and being professional, part of that is being conscious of comfort aspects that other people don't even think about in terms of their houses. I think what's an interesting concept to me and how I think about this house is that because it is a series of kind of boxes, if you will, it is a series of gallery spaces. I mean, this, I think all houses are, but I think maybe this is more of that than most, because I think in many ways it was originally built to be a sort of receptacle for art. I think what it's become is essentially a gallery of where I am in my life now. It's really filled with things, books that I love now, books that I've read from the past, but books I want to read, sort of buying because I'm interested in certain artists or certain periods in time. It's filled with art that I've loved for a very long time, but also artists that I know now, who I'm working with now, craftsmen that I, long admired, but also are doing new things for me. I think what's so interesting about this house for me and this moment for me is it very much feels like a self-portrait. I mean, I've talked about portraiture for a long time in terms of what I do, right? I think that good decoration, good architecture, good interior decoration, anything you want to, any kind of title you want to use for it, is essentially part portraiture, part stand-up comedy, part really pulling out of people who they are, how they want to be perceived, their history, being respectful of all those elements. And then the risk of it is the stand-up comedy. Really kind of being risky and taking a leap of faith and trying to show people, this is how you should live. This is how all these elements that I've culled from you, this is, all these things you've told me and what I've sort of learned in my career about how you should be framed and presented. This is what it is, and it's a bit of a risk. And even in execution, it's a bit of a risk. But I think that portraiture, which is so interesting and has been such a kind of cornerstone to my career and how I perceive what I do, it's really interesting, the challenges, the doubt, the concern about being judged that self-portraiture brings. But it's so rewarding and so wonderful to walk through rooms and know that these are a real record of where I am now and where I am in terms of James and my dogs and other people that I love are right now. And that's something incredibly rewarding.